Gabe Furtado, wonderful artist, musician, songwriter. Uh, I got introduced to him through a mutual friend, and his newest song, "Flowers," is it's wonderful. I enjoy talking to this young artist, just full of positivity and energy and love. The process we talk about, the process of writing music and uh, art versus science. There's just the inspiration received is so fascinating to me. And Gabe talks about that, how it's received, and sitting with his cousins. He cites one particular incident and the song Flowers, how that was received as well. But just the artist, the way they receive inspiration is just so fascinating to me because I don't think it's ever happened to me. And uh, I asked a question about the process of writing music or creating music and art versus science. I think you'll be amazed at the answer. I was. I've never heard this answer before. Uh, it was wonderful. Gabe Furtado, please check the music out. Spotify, I'll put the notes in the podcast here. A wonderful artist. Take a look. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business and it lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission: how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family and their passion and their careers and how it helped them. Our podcast vision: growth through learning from others. Joey Pin's Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. I enjoy your music. I enjoy you. Is it a good time to be, in the music business?
I think it always is.
Hmm.
I think it always is all the time. Since the beginning or now or maybe in the future if there's a future for us. I think it always will be.
I'll never
It's
forget.
art.
I'll never forget the quote. Somebody asked, like one of the executives asked Prince, is it a good time to be in the record business? And Prince's famous line was, "I'm not in the record business. I'm in the music business. I make music. You people make the records. I don't know what that is. I just want to make my art."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's the
I
same thing with
agree
you.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to express yourself.
I mean that's how I breathe basically.
Yeah,
If not, it's please give me some air. I just need it. I just need it.
it's reflective, and you have the song "Flowers." I mean, it illuminates the room. It lights up. You could just feel your freedom and the slight way you almost giggle in it. The way it kind of just your energy just flows from the song. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I totally agree. Thank you. You honestly you actually saw it, watch it, and listen to it with your kind um eyes, ears, and spirit. So I appreciate that a lot.
So tell me
Thank you.
about your process. How do you create?
Ah, I it depends, honestly. To be completely honest, it depends because flowers came to me in a second,
Hmm.
so it was just a playful thing that I was doing, like kind of like just cause, I was um uh admiring these flowers that I bought myself the day before,
Yeah.
literally, which is the first line. And I was like, I love flowers because every time that I go for walks, if I see a little flower here or there, I will like smell it,
Mm,
touch it, talk to it, or just like, hey, not or
sure.
whatever, because I love flowers. And and I was like, okay, I don't have a song about it. Let me write it. So I went to the this little office room that I had at the time, and I was playing with this little. It was a little keyboard, so it was not a full piano because I didn't have my because of things like life. So I was like just playing around with it, like with the notes. And I was like, okay, because it's the most basic chords
Right.
ever, which is like C, G, F, G.
Hmm.
Literally basic. I'm like, I know it, but I love it. And I was like, okay, let me see what comes out of it. And I was like, done. The song was that.
Wow.
2 minutes later, like 3 minutes later, like done, all done. So that's one of the processes, which is the most joyful one for me because it's just me allowing it to happen, basically.
The
Yeah.
chorus came to you, the music came to you, the lyrics came to you. What came to you?
The lyrics, the melodies. So yeah,
Fascinating.
so I got the chords, then lyrics, melody, literally what you listen to right now today. It's what came up to me on August 20th or 22nd, 2020. Yeah.
Wow. That moment of inspiration, I just it I don't know if it's ever happened to me. So you seem to connect just to nature itself. You mentioned of take
Yeah.
we always hear stop and smell the roses. It's a saying, nobody does it. I get the feeling you do, and
I do.
and it's
I
wonderful.
do.
It's wonderful, and that point of inspiration, you've written many songs, but that time when you got that inspiration, did you know something was happening? Did your body temperature change? Did you feel nauseous? Do you remember?
I remember that it was like just another thing that I did,
Mm,
on that day. But as the days passed, I noticed that I couldn't get the song out of me.
wow.
So it was stuck with me. And I was like, if I was happy, I would sing it and I would be happier. Or if I was sad, I would sing it and I would be happy again. So it was just this interesting thing that for the first time ever happened to me. It was me having my own song as my favorite song.
Mm,
Because we all have a favorite song, right?
yeah.
Like I bet you do. Like, what's your favorite song, for example? Do you have one in mind?
Well, for the last few hours, I've been listening to Flowers. So right now, it's Flowers.
Thank you. I
It
love that.
rotates.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, like, but like for me, for the past before Flowers, so for the past like maybe 8 years, it was literally Titanium by Sia and David Guetta.
Ah.
So that was my favorite song for that long.
For
And
eight
then
years, you had a favorite
for
song.
like 8 years, yeah, like I wouldn't listen to it every day, but I would enjoy listening to it or thinking about it or just humming it. No, it's like it was my favorite song. And then out of nowhere, like my own song, like I didn't know it was possible. Like I didn't know because like is that too
Mm.
egocentric? Like what is that? But no, for me it was like healing. It was healing. It's me healing and appreciating my life and appreciating who I've become in this process of living for the past 25 years on earth. I guess. Yeah.
Fascinating. And do you believe that nature or a higher power or something inspired you, or do you believe it was truly organic within you? How do you think it came from you?
I I just turned 25, so I
Yeah.
was in the past weeks for a little while in this little existential crisis, which I didn't know what was real or not. Like,
Hmm.
are we living in the Matrix? Uh, is there a God or heaven, hell? Like, what is it? So I've always been a believer that there was a God or something, like, and even though I had this little crisis now, like, I still do believe that there is something, even if it's our energy, even if it's just pure love, like energy wise, like vibration and stuff. Like, I don't know how it works, but whatever it is, I know there's something.
Hmm.
We know, science does also know. So it's like there's something, and I believe that in these little moments, when people connect or allow to be connected to this
Mm.
something, amazing things can happen. Like, maybe you will have an amazing episode of your podcast. Maybe I have this beautiful and magical song, so I guess something gave it to me, something blessed me enough to bring this to life. So I honestly, I always say, like, thank you God, thank you universe, for allowing me to give life to flowers,
Hmm.
because that's how special it is to me. It's like I got a little emotional right now because it's
Yeah.
really special. It's really special.
And we
Yeah.
have to learn to open that up and receive it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really do, don't we? There's a famous story where Bob Dylan wrote a great song, Along the Watchtower, and within a couple of weeks, Jimi Hendrix performed it. And Bob Dylan watched Jimi Hendrix perform the song and said, "That song was never mine. It belongs to Jimi Hendrix. That's the way it should be played." And while he allowed himself to write this song, he felt that it was never his. So he opened himself to get this and was the vessel for it, but it landed in the
Yeah.
correct place. Do you think
Yeah,
that
I
could ever
believe in
happen to
that
you?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, I do. I have, maybe I might be crazy, but like maybe like over 1,000 songs written somewhere somehow, along the way, and I do have a couple of them that I could think of like right now that I wouldn't sing them. I wouldn't. I love them. I love the lyrics. I love the melody, but I wouldn't sing them because I don't think they are mine to sing, you know. So I guess it's the same thing. I I agree with that. I believe in it.
Very interesting. It's not in your voice, even though you created it. You just don't feel that it's in your voice.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that, and it's more than that. It's almost like it doesn't fit my reality. It doesn't fit who I am as an artist. It doesn't fit me. Not anymore. I thought for a while that you would be me, the singer to the song. I have this one
Hmm.
song. I think it's called "Father, Please Forgive Me." That's the one that I've been thinking of while talking to you about it, and it's really sad, kind of. And I'm like, I don't see myself singing it. I don't see myself singing it anymore.
Interesting.
So that's one of them that I would like give away. I like if I find someone who would be a good fit for it. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
interesting. I've never done that. I've never written for anyone else to sing, but I'm down to. I love writing songs, so I think that's special too, even if it's not me singing it. Yeah.
And you do a great version of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. Now, here we have something that is in her voice, it's her song, but you take a very interesting take of it. Do you feel that it's hers and yours?
I feel it's hers.
Mm, mm,
I feel it's hers. It's definitely hers, but I feel that my version is mine. Does that make
mm.
sense? I've never seen her singing it that way or anyone
Yes.
else. Even how Sandra, who played the piano, how she played it and how we complement each other, like my voice and the piano. I think that's pretty unique. So that version is definitely mine, like Gabe's, but the song is definitely hers. Like definitely, I wouldn't sing it like her way. Like that's not me, at least right now. So Yeah, no, that was really interesting to think of. I've never think of it, I guess, that way.
When you heard her sing it, you've probably heard her sing it many times. Did you hear your version when you heard hers? Like, what's the evolution there, Gabe? How did you get to yours from hers?
So what happened what usually happens to me is that if I want to sing someone else's song, I it doesn't matter which song it is, I will want to strip it down totally and just play the piano, or someone else will play it for me, because at the time I wasn't as good as I am playing it. So it was not me playing. But when you shifted from like this full pop dancey,
Mm,
up uplifting kind of, even because it's really like you want to
sure.
dance to
Up
it.
tempo, yeah.
Yeah, so when you go from that to the piano thing, you can try and make it also dancey, because it's the possible, right? Like people have been playing the piano and just the piano for I don't even know how long. But I I like to make it intimate. I like that. Even if I was playing Dua Lipa's Physical and I was playing in a total different way
Hmm,
also. So it's like,
hmm.
since the first time, it was kind of like what you hear now. It was kind of like that, like almost there, not there yet, but it was like going in that direction for sure. Because I have fun. I like it. I like it making it like more personal. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Lady Gaga or Dua Lipa have ever heard your version. Do you know?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have this feeling. I have this feeling. I don't know. I don't think so, because I think if she had like Lady Gaga, she would like say something.
Hmm.
I love her so much. So
Yeah,
like
me too.
if she's listening to this, or if she ever listens like to my music or anything, just say hi. But yeah, like I sometimes I wonder like, hey, maybe, maybe, because my mom was like at this restaurant somewhere, and she was listening to my version of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. So she was like, what? And at first she was like, "Oh, sweet voice. I like this voice." And then she was like, "No, I know this voice."
Oh my
And then she's
goodness.
like, "Oh my gosh, it's my son!" And I'm like, "Ah, yes, mom." I wasn't there with her, but I. So I mean, if she, maybe, I hope so. I hope she have. I hope she has. I don't know.
Well, Lady
Fingers
Gaga
crossed.
is an incredible musician. She's a great piano player. I mean, she. I think I don't know.
Flawless,
I hate to speak for her, but
flawless.
I would think she'd like that. I've seen her live with Tony Bennett. She's just so
Oh yeah,
versatile. She's just so versatile, and she's an actor.
and really good.
She's absolutely
Great.
amazing.
She's the greatest.
So
Yeah.
your
Thank you.
process when you hear music, what comes first, the music or the lyrics for you?
That's interesting. I always go, my ears are trained because I love being a lyricist. I love writing the lyrics. I love melodies as well. But I think because I really do appreciate detail, and I think like the lyrics are just like, if it comes down to it, like 7% like important to the song. There's like the melodies, the interpretation, and sounds, but lyrics, like, it's not that important, but for me it is.
Hmm.
So I think I go for the lyrics, slash melody, and then I go to everything else. But if it's like, if I'm dancing at a club or somewhere, I will, I think I'll still pay attention to the lyrics because I love lyrics. But sometimes I try not to, because if they're really sad, I don't want to
Hmm.
go into the the zone. So yeah, but it's definitely the lyrics. Definitely the lyrics. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And so when you receive good lyrics, do you go pen paper? Do you write on your cell phone? Do you write on a computer?
I used to go like pen paper for a good while, but then I'm like, what's the point? It's like
Mm.
it's too hard to just like stop and writing it down. It was for me because I'm a slow writer.
I see.
And I mean, my handwriting is not that cute, so I wouldn't understand it either. But it's definitely me and my cell phone, like notes. Go to my note app and I'll write it down, or voice memos. My lifesaver. It's like it saves my life, because if I cannot like write, or if I get the melodies at once and I'm not with my piano,
Yeah.
I have to like grab it and like sing it, like even if it's like to like Shine Bright, one of my songs. It was me. I was in my living room, I guess, a long time ago, with like two cousins. One was a little one, the other one was older. They were playing, talking, blah 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 blah, and I was like, shine your light so bright, everyone can see.
Wow.
Like really, just yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. It helps. It helps because then I remember how I sang it.
But Gabe, where did that melody come from? I'm always fascinated with you artists. Where did that come from when you're sitting there with your two cousins fooling
I don't
around?
know. I don't know. Heaven? No, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Well,
Um,
maybe.
I don't know if there's a heaven. I bet it's inside of us already.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So I don't know, because I think we're all connected, like as human beings, even like with nature and animals and everything. It's all connected. So maybe there's networking that is happening even when we're not aware of. Maybe that's where it is. Maybe that's where it all is. And it's still inside of us, because it's the same thing. It's all
Right.
one big thing, one big complex and messy thing. But I mean, this is me just guessing. I, I don't know. I don't know.
I love
But
it.
it comes.
It
That's the good thing. It
That's the
comes.
thing. Yeah. We don't know
Yeah.
how, but it's there. Where did your love of music come from? As a child? From your parents?
I guess it was like from my parents, like my dad. I don't know. I've been doing therapy, so like now I remember some stuff that I wouldn't remember before, because we
Hmm.
block certain things,
See.
right? And I remember my entire life growing up, like my dad out of nowhere would start singing,
Hmm.
like something that he would like make up in the moment. So, it's a beautiful day, there is a butterfly. It's a beautiful day, there's a butterfly. Like something, like silly,
Wow.
like the silliest thing ever. She would sing. So maybe it was always around me. Like, like I have like two other brothers, and the one in the middle was kind of like a guitar player growing up. So I would always listen to him playing it,
Hmm.
and like singing something. I don't know. But I've always been obsessed with like pop divas. So I guess they are like my major influences growing up as well. So yeah,
Pop divas.
it was yeah, it was everywhere growing up. So I guess I wouldn't escape it even if I wanted to.
Very interesting. And you had some strategy. Your strategy, right? Your father passed, and you dropped out of school.
Yeah.
You wanted to pursue art. Uh, do you is that reflective in what you do now? Do you feel that he would enjoy that, and it's part of your growth?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I 100%. A hundred
Hmm.
percent. It's funny you're asking it. Today is the 5th anniversary of his death,
Wow.
like literally. So I just I just posted like last night. I was thinking of it, and I was talking to my mom and my brothers, and um we were just remembering, just like my mom was saying some things that he would always say, and then she was like, what do you guys remember? Like, let's say something that he would say. And I was like, eat well, because he was always like, an advocate for like people around the world like eating and being healthy. And and I was thinking about my new album and about my songs and how he impacted like my life, especially because he was like out of a sudden that he died, and I was like, life is too short, so let
Mm.
me live like my dream life now while I can, while I'm here, while I have the opportunity to. And I say that after that my life changed like completely, because then Last Goodbye came. I just honestly recorded last night, after I was talking to them, me singing Last Goodbye, which was about his passing, and I just posted on Instagram a couple hours ago. So if you want to check it out later, it's really how it is for me. It was like I was not planning on doing it. I was listening to the song like on repeat, like Last Goodbye, and I was like, let me record something, and then I'm gonna send my mom and my brothers, as a way of like honoring like my dad's like memory. And they were like, "Oh, you sound amazing. Like congrats." And I was like, "Thank you." And then when I watched it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's actually okay." It's I was like, I'm okay. I'm a post. Let me share with people, because Flowers, with this new era, with this new album, I'm really uplifting, which is not the same thing as I started like my first album, which was with Last Goodbye. So now it's like me having more fun, appreciating life, and every second of it. And it's the opposite of Last Goodbye and some other songs from Life, my first album. And that shows me how important it is to just value your life, where you are with it, you know. So now I'm in a really good spot, really good place. I do have sad feelings and sad emotions, but I just wanted like to celebrate a little more, celebrate my growth, myself. So it's about, yeah, it's about that. It's about this is like my second chapter after his passing, basically. So yeah, it's I'm entirely impacted by this by this point of my life,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I mean, the growth that you've shown throughout, throughout your album career. I mean, did you expect that kind of trajectory? Did you think when you started you'd be where you are now?
I had no idea what would what would happen to me
Mm.
or to my music. It's really interesting, because I always, okay, to be like completely honest, I always thought for me to get where I am right now, I would have to have like a record label backing me up.
Mm.
You know, I thought that was what I needed. And last year, I guess, like the beginning of last year, I'm like, okay, you got this, and that. I mean, I was nominated for an award. That was so much. That was so much for me. I'm like, oh wow, thank you so much. Like for two, I guess,
Wow.
series in a row. And I'm like, that's amazing. So, you know, you got like no record label, you got no one, nothing, and you've done that. So, hey, maybe it's time for you to go and like create your dream album ever. Like, if you were a little kid and you listened to yourself, you'd be your biggest fan. So, I'm like, it's Flowers time, you know? So, yeah, I would never imagine. But all of this is definitely because I realized life just flies, and it's like when you realize it, you're gone. So yeah, so I'm like, I would not expect to have two albums and love them completely, especially Flowers now, and literally like have the dream era. You know,
Mm.
it's like my dream era, like Flowers. I'm looking at the artwork um of the album right now, and it's just me, and that's what I needed. It's like, wow, you know, I just needed to be alive to to receive this gift of like Flowers, you know, and giving life to it. I'm really grateful for this journey. Really grateful. Good thing is, because of all of this craziness and all this mess that's been happening with the world, I was like, I only have one rule for me this time, you know, have fun,
Mm.
have fun. And everybody that I had to bring to my team, I was like, one rule only. because we're all professionals. We're doing what we got to do. We're doing what we chose to do. So of course we're gonna deliver and be responsible. So I was like, I know, I trust that. I trust that you do that, but only do one thing for me: have fun. That's all. Enjoy, enjoy. So like, it's been the most fun ever. I can say that. I can say that.
Seems so simple, but it would help so many, Gabe, wouldn't it? It would help so many. There's so much polarization and anger
You change
today. It
everything.
really would. It would change everything. And do you feel you're doing your greatest work now?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I definitely. But I say this with a lot of like gratitude and love for life. My life in general, and life, my first album. Because there wouldn't be flowers without life.
Right.
And the symbol that I used to use for life was a tree. So that's so interesting that like my second album is like called Flowers.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh wow, okay, yeah, definitely, it's all linked up, it's all connected. So yeah, but this is me being my biggest fan, like, basically, it's I love it, I love it. I'm releasing a new song soon, and it's just fabulous, and it's really good. And I have lyric videos coming for each and every one of them, and I'm really excited. It's like, I've been blessed enough to do everything that I've always dreamed of with this album. So I'm really excited for everything that's coming and happening already.
You're very fortunate, and I love your message. Do you listen to other types of music? Other
I listen
genres?
to it all. I listen to it all. If I like it, I listen to it. I was listening. If I even listen to like this meditative, like,
Ah,
kind of music. There's sounds and ohms
sure.
and like cellular upgrade, or whatever it's called. I love it. So like, even from that to like um explicit lyrics saying a lot of explicit words, it's like from the zen state to the f up like state. It's I I listen to it all and I love it all. I appreciate it all. But yeah, but I'm a pop kind of person,
Yeah.
so that's like what I'll stick with. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yes, you do, and you're very, very good at it. You're extremely good at it. Your process again.
Thank you.
Um, I'm so fascinated with this because I just don't have it, and I get to talk to wonderful people like yourself that do. And do you think it's more like when you get that inspiration, Gabe, and you move on, like when you're sitting there with your cousins and you start humming a tune into your phone, uh, the whole process from point of inspiration till the production is over, how much of that is art versus science?
Oh my gosh. Um, isn't science an art? No, I'm kidding.
Uh-huh. It sure can be.
I mean, it could be, right?
Yes, yes,
Um, I think, yeah, yeah, I was just joking, but I guess I kind of do believe in that,
yes.
because living is art. Like, it's whatever. I've always been so like positive and optimistic, like in every way. But I appreciate the sadness and like the duality and whatever is in between. So
Hmm,
I'd say that maybe it's all art, even when we're like
hmm,
um change the temple, what, because we think it's gonna be better or whatever. It's like, I think it's all art.
hmm.
The only answer that I will genuinely like give you right now, I guess it's all art. That's all. Even the engineering, like the
Right.
the mixing process, because whether you're aware of it or not, because it's not because like, oh, we don't want to sound too loud here or there. It's more of like how you feel, I guess. It comes up to what people will feel, what you will feel when you're listening to it. So yeah. Yeah, even mathematics, I'll say it's art now after that thought, because why not? It's different ways, different. point of views, but it's for us and made by us. So
What
yeah.
a wonderful, genuine answer, Gabe. Yeah, because some people would say that, you know, uh, being in the studio, all the equipment, it's very scientific. One plus one equals two. But I think what you're saying is that, yeah, that may be true, but it's really art that wraps it around. It makes it beautiful.
Yeah, that's the, and it's not about the final product, it's about the journey.
Mm.
It's like you're there, you're experiencing like different sensations and vibrations, like you're listening to stuff, and yeah, it involves everything, and involves your being, and it will make you feel something, even if it's annoyance, even if it's you being angry, like, oh no, I want to change that, Jesus, awful, let me redo it, like, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever written a song out of anger?
Planning. Planning. But it was like in my teenage years for sure. I
Sure.
was like, oh my gosh, I have this one song. I think I am, well, when was it? Maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't remember. Um, I I'm not gonna say the lyrics, but it's me angry and like really, really like annoyed because I'm like, why don't you love me? Like I love you. Like, oh, I hate that I love you and you don't love me. It's like it's really fun. It's a really, I want that soon. I might work on that one, but it's just fun. It's me really angry, like sad, and I do have a lot of angry ones and sad ones and worried ones. Like when, because like inspiration comes to me out of nowhere. So if I'm talking to you and you tell me like a story, it doesn't matter if it's beautiful, if it's sad, if it's ugly, whatever. But then something clicks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to write something about it. So like I go and I can write the lyrics, or I can go to the piano and do it all. So it's like I love writing. Period. Like anything, everything. I love writing. It's my passion for sure.
And yeah, I could definitely sense that. And it's amazing during those teenage kind of formative years, you get your heart broken or get disappointed. It is the
Mhm.
end of the world. There's nothing bigger in the world than what's happening right there. And it's earth shattering. And then weeks, months later, well, it's all over. That's okay. Now we're on to something else. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like you're never moving on,
Yeah,
you're never getting past it, but then you eventually do.
you do.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I've always felt a lot, so I feel like I mean, now that I got a little more experience, not that much, but a little. I see that I would suffer way more in the past, like way more, because then it's like I have this thing, like I want to get married and have kids. I know not everybody does, but like
Mm.
I want it. And and then I was like maybe 16, and I met this guy, but he's like older and whatever, and and it's like you can't. It's like against the law. Like no, no way, Jose. and and then I suffer, and then and everything, and then it's like I think I spent like over a year. It was like something
Wow.
so. It was just like too much. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to slap myself like in the face, like too much. Stop, stop, stop. You're too young. You're not ready. Definitely not ready. But like I thought, like, oh my gosh, he's the one. Like, no, definitely not. So, but that's fun. A lot of good like songs came out of it. So
Mm.
yeah, like really good ones. So I appreciate that. They're not out and won't be for a while, but soon enough.
Yeah, they're in the vault. Are there such thing as negative emotions? Seems to me that you could turn most things positive, Gabe.
I know, I know. It kind of, I yeah, I kind of have this thing like everything that happens to me, I will. automatic. It's exhausting when I think of it, but like it's just natural to me. I will find the bright side of it, regardless of whatever it is. Like from my dad's passing, it was me
Mm,
starting my career. It's like that's a blessing. But like I always look. I always. It's like I'm like a sunflower, like always turn to the sun.
mm,
I just thought of that. I liked it.
mm,
Like, so I'm kind of like that, which is annoying because I'm like that. Sometimes I won't allow myself to
mm,
to go through the crying part, and
mm,
it's like now I do because I have my therapist with me, but um. I would like block my emotions for too long, and the only way that I would express them would be through music
mm.
or acting, so I can cry easily if I have a camera in front of me and I script, like I will cry because then I will allow myself to.
Hmm.
But if we're like here, like watching something and then we talk about something sad, like, or I'm really sad, like that will take me some strength to really go through like this, like these blocks, and then I will allow myself to cry. But it will take a while. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm really I'm really optimistic. So
Yeah, that's a
it's the
wonderful.
price I pay.
It's a
It's the
wonderful
price I pay.
disposition. Yeah. So on the podcast, we bring up discipline. I lost a lot of weight, and people always ask me, "How did you do it?" Like I have some magic trick or something, and I always say, "Well, I just disciplined my daughter was born, and I was overweight. My doctor said, "Hey, you want to see your daughter graduate high school? Well, you
Oh my
better,
god.
lose some weight." So I just changed everything I did. I just changed my lifestyle. Do you consider yourself disciplined at all, Gabe?
Yes. Now I do.
How
Now I
so?
do. Um it's two things. One of them is
Hmm.
studying music. Um like I've been studying for a good while, but I've been disciplined, like having a really good focus and following through it almost like daily. That just happened maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago with me. Like so, and it's so funny because then when we do it, I guess your change, whatever you wanted to accomplish, will come so faster than you thought you would be. Right? It's like,
Mm.
oh, I thought you'd be like 5 more years, but then it was like 2 years,
Hmm.
or less. And so yeah, I got so much better. I grew a lot, like musically,
Hmm.
and maybe that's why I even like thought, hey, I think it's time for me. It doesn't matter if I don't have a record label deal, which I'm happy about not having it if it's not the right one. Um, so it's time, regardless of anything else, because I am the musician, I am the artist, I am the person that I've always wanted to be now. So let me have my dream album now. Yeah. And the second thing, which is also about eating, which but for me was like under eating.
Hmm.
So I've been seeing like a dietitian and like nutrition therapy. Um, so sometimes it's so hard, like I just want to skip one meal, like one,
Mm.
like one, or like eat less than I know that my body needs. But then I'm like, you're not there anymore. You're gonna eat, and then I do, and I eat, and but that's a lot. I think that was like harder for me than with the music stuff, because it's yeah. But yeah, I think when you're focused and disciplined, you will get to wherever it is that you want to get. Period. Period. For sure. For sure. So having a healthy life, watching your daughters, and me too, because I want to have a family, so I gotta eat in order to it. Sometimes I say like, oh damn, why do you gotta eat? Like, is that necessary? But now, thank God, I feel hunger. So so it's good. But so yeah, and I'm like, yeah, if I wanna have a world tour, if I have like tour every single city here in America, if I want, if I want to do it, I gotta be healthy. So yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm following through, and I'm happy about it, even though it's not hard. It's not easy. It's hard. I'm happy. I'm grateful.
Oh, what a wonderful answer. My daughters are everything to me, and they're both in college, and they're both fans of yours, as am I, of course.
Oh my gosh!
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And what motivates you?
Hmm. I I mentioned that I had this life crisis a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
about my like what's real, what's not real,
Hmm.
and then I was like, if nothing is real, like what's the point? Like I went there. I was like,
Hmm.
what's the point? And then I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter what's real or what's not real. It doesn't matter what comes after. It matters what I have now, what I'm doing now, what I'm feeling now, what I am now. And because I know that if I want to get somewhere, I gotta do the work. I gotta be disciplined
Hmm.
enough, and I'm like, okay, I have these goals. I have amazing, beautiful friends, family, people that love me, people that I love so much, and I know that they will come, they will go, um, but that's worth it. That buy it, the connections that we have, the goals that we set. There's these like little things that they're not little. They're not little at all. We call them little. I just watched like this video saying like, oh yeah, you think like going to Hawaii, which is amazing, but like going somewhere, it's like that's actually the little thing, because like the most part of your life you spend with whoever you live with, you talk with, it's like you experience like the so-called little things. So I'm like, oh wow, if I love this like little things which are not little at all, it's worth it. It's all worth it. So like having this career that I'm building, and there's songs that I'm so in love with, like this album, and everything about it, and the person that I am, the person that I'm becoming, and the people that I surround myself with. So like all of it motivates me. All of it inspires me to keep going
Hmm.
and just take a day at a time or a moment at a time sometimes, because we're human. We're not I was gonna say we're not strong, but actually vulnerability is a different kind of strength. So um we got to go through the lows to enjoy the highs, and vice versa, because everything passes, regardless, the good and the bad. So it's like, let's enjoy. Let's enjoy now. It's like me yesterday being sad and missing my dad. I was like, it's okay, I'm not gonna be sad forever. It's a moment, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So I sang and I listened to it on repeat, last goodbye, um and then it passed. And then if we talk about it again, I might be sad again, but then it will pass again, so it's like, for me, experiencing whatever we are experiencing, even though we just want to experience the good, it is worth it, because like something better will always come, and then it's like the other better thing, the other better thing. It might take a while, but then it's like the other better thing, the other better thing. And love, love unites us. So it gives me strength.
It does. Love does unite us, and your mission of have fun, I think, couples well with love. And you mentioned the passing of your father recently. Last week was the 18th year of my sister passing in an auto
Oh
accident.
my
It was
gosh.
horrible, and two
I'm
young
so
kids
sorry.
that and uh, but again, you think about how lonely, what would happen if she was still with us, but then you have to turn it around and rejoice, thinking she would be proud as to how my kids are growing, how her kids have grown, and what we're doing now. And you have to be able to. It's okay to mourn for a little while, but then turn it
Yeah.
around and spread it out, because she would want love. She would want happiness, just as your father, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm sending my love to your family because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
It's really life crashing, like for a little moment, sometimes a long moment. But I do think the exact same thing. It's I sometimes feel like I don't even know if it's real or not, but I feel like my dad and like my aunt and like my grandma, like people that has like already passed. And um I feel them with me in like their love and like how proud they are. It's like,
Mm.
hey, I'm so proud of you. Like you just feel it. It's like I think that's another encouraging thing for us who feel this to just like keep going. It's like you're on the right track.
Mm.
It's like you're on the right track. Like just keep moving forward. And that's a way of honoring them living by living. It's like people say I'm gonna die for you, but what if you live for you?
Mm.
What if you live for someone? I think that's hard. That's not the easiest, but I think that's worth trying or doing because it's better because it is what you have.
It's easy to
It
give
is.
up, but it's more difficult, takes more discipline to go on, but it's much more rewarding.
Yeah, yeah, true. I was gonna say I hope so, no, but I know it is. It is. It is.
Absolutely. Gabe, how do you measure success?
Are you happy? If you're happy, you're successful,
Mm.
period. I think if you don't compare yourself to anyone else and you literally compare yourself to who you once were, and if you're doing better, of course, then you're successful. Because that's what it is. It's not a fight against anyone else, but it's a constant fight against yourself. It's you outdoing you, it's you outgrowing you, parts of you, it's you letting go of the old you constantly if that's necessary. It's you trying your best and being okay if your best wasn't enough on that specific day because of a certain thing or because of like someone else was in charge of choosing you or some other person. And if you're a better you're already the most successful human being on earth, period, because there's no comparison. But social media, businesses, everything that kind of like rule like the world will tell you otherwise. So it's like know and choose what you believe
Mm.
and stick to it because otherwise you will crash. Because then you compare yourself to other people and you're gonna say, oh my gosh, I only have 5,000 followers or 2,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. What the heck? I want more. I want millions. I do want more. I do want millions. um you know and I'll get there eventually
Sure.
if I don't give up. you know However long that is, I don't know. But um I am way way better than I was a year ago, even maybe 6 months ago.
Mm.
So it's like uh, I have my dream album, like that's for me, like my goals that I'm setting and that I'm accomplishing, that only speaks of me. That's me being successful,
Mm.
because it doesn't matter the results. The result is you doing it, setting a goal. Okay, I got there. Okay, next goal. What is it? Like, am I gonna change it? Am I gonna expand it? And am I gonna switch to something else? What am I gonna do? And then you go after it, and then you move on again, and that's, yeah, always changing. So I think we're all successful deep down, even if we don't see it.
Mm. Yeah, and you have to be
I,
able to
I
see it.
guess.
Yeah. I decided to buy myself some flowers yesterday to make up for the things I want to say. I know I am fragile. I'm also the strongest person I know. And I know that everyone around me know that too. Well, it's the truth. I love my flowers black and white. Wonderful, Gabe.
I love my flowers all the time. Thank you so much.
Absolutely wonderful.
Thank
Gabe
you.
Furtado, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Love talking to you. I love talking to artists and the love and the optimism and the fun from this conversation from your music is so contagious and is so overwhelming that one cannot help but feel it when they consume your art. I want to thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, thank you for those words. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. A lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank,
Thank you. And
I
thank you
look
for having me. I had a
It was
lot of
wonderful.
fun.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward one day maybe having a cup of coffee and of course seeing you
Oh,
live would be
definitely.
wonderful. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
Once we can do
Soon,
that.
hopefully.
Absolutely. Gabe Furtado, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Can't wait to meet you. How can we get in touch with you for all those that want to listen more and find out more about you?
Just go and Google me, Gabe, Gabe Furtado, Furtado. And then you will find me. Everything is there. You can go to my website. You can go to my Instagram. You can go to even a Facebook page if someone's even using it. Anything, you know. But if you want to like send me a message, it's possibly that I will read it on Instagram. Maybe. Because I respect myself enough to not be too attached to
Mm,
social media. And, so I'm setting even stronger boundaries
good
for
for you.
me. So, yeah, for my mental health, I'm like, I got to.
Yes.
So, or even Twitter. Twitter might be easier if you mention me.
Mm.
But yeah, but I'll be happy to to see everybody and to sing. So Google me, stay updated, and I hope you're having a beautiful life, whoever you are.
Gabe, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. You be well. I look forward to eventually meeting you face to face.
Thank you. Let's do it. I'm down.
Be well. Bye now.
Okay.
Have fun.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pin's Disciplined Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information. The video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Would you like to financially support the podcast? You can go to our Patreon site. Consider $5, $10, or $20 a month. There's all kind of plans that we have there. There's like a one-time payment. What is this podcast episode worth to you? $25, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. You be the judge. You can go to our PayPal account to do that as well. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pin's Disciplined Conversations.